my friends, is a tin. A tin that I found while cleaning out a closet. It's a tin full of lost memories. Pun intended. Or more likely than not, it's just filled with junk cards that I deemed interesting back in the day. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid, but as I grew older, I slowly forgot about it. I haven't played this game for more than 10 years. Now we are going to change that, as I decided to challenge myself and try to get back up to speed with Yu-Gi-Oh! This week's budget is $6, counting $1 from the last episode. Since we didn't get any cards for our first episode, I think it's time we change that. So I got us a thick sleeve filled with shiny cardboard. Before we take the cards out, I need to make it clear that shipping is also included in our budget. So in today's case, the shipping cost us $1.49. It will round it up to $1.50, which totals exactly $5, once again leaving us with $1 from the last episode. With this out of the way, let's look at what we got this week. First off, I bought 3 tuning, just as I said at the end of the last episode. This card will greatly increase the speed of our deck. Next up is Monster Reborn, because it's just a great card for any deck and can be used in multiple ways to get us to our boss monsters. After that we have Green Gadget and Swap Frog. I bought Green Gadget just to complete the basic gadget set and feed my nostalgia, as the whole gadget package will probably get replaced in the next episode. Plus it only cost 15 cents. Swap Frog will have better use, as it allows us to get level 2 monsters on board easily, which is great for our Junk Warrior effect to boost it up to some big attack numbers. And the frogs can be used as synchro materials except for Ruined Toadin. For the last spell that we got this week, we have a single living fossil, as our budget didn't allow us to get the full playset. But it will be very useful if it comes up during the game, as it's basically a nerfed Monster Reborn. But that doesn't really affect us, as we only use level 4 or lower monsters in our deck. For our synchro monsters, I got one Stardust Dragon. Its effect is still okay and we can make it pretty easily, as our next synchro card is Junk Speeder. Junk Speeder's effect allows us to special summon as many synchro tuners from our deck with different levels as possible when it's synchro summon, but it locks us out from the extra deck monsters except for synchros for this turn. This brings us to our last addition to our deck today, which is Unknown Synchron. I got it because of Junk Speeder's effect, as it's level 1 and we don't have any level 1 synchrons. But its effect is also great if we go second, as it can be special summoned from the hand if the opponent controls monsters and we don't. Now it's finally time to get our deck out and replace some cards. To start off, we will take out Obnoxious Celtic Guard and vote Marshmallows and put in Green Gadget, Unknown Synchron and Swap Frog instead. Next we will replace Witch of the Black Forest with Living Fossil, because Witch is just too slow with its errata. To make space for our playset of tuning, we are taking out our playset of Synchro Boost, as it really doesn't do enough to be worth running. To finish it off, I'm putting Stardust Dragon and Junk Speeder in our extra deck, which brings us to 10 extra deck cards total, and that leaves us with 5 empty spots to fill up. Last week our only play was basically hoping that we somehow put a level 2 in the grave and draw Junk Synchron to get to Junk Warrior. This time we are still laughably slow, but we at least have some type of an actual combo. For the first line of play, we need to draw one Junk Synchron or Tuning and Foolish Burial, with which we send Quillbolt Hedgehog to the grave and then summon Junk Synchron to special summon it from the grave. We synchro summon Junk Speeder and summon Road, Junk, Nitro and Unknown Synchron from the deck to the field. Then we can special summon Quillbolt from the grave by its own effect and use it with Junk Synchron to get out Junk Warrior with its effect. To get to Stardust Dragon, we can synchro summon using Junk Speeder and Unknown Synchron to get out Gaia Knight and use it with Road Synchron or Nitro Synchron to synchro summon Stardust Dragon. For the second line of play, we need 3 cards: Junk Synchron or Tuning, Swap Frog and the Water Monster. We special summon Swap Frog, dumping the Water Monster to the grave, and use Swap Frog's effect to send Dupe Frog to the grave, then normal summon Junk Synchron and use its effect to get Dupe Frog to the field. We can synchro summon Junk Speeder with Dupe Frog and Junk Synchron to get the same synchrons as before on the field. We can then use Swap Frog and Junk Synchron to get our Junk Warrior that gets its attack boost. After that, we can use Junk Speeder to climb into Stardust Dragon with Unknown Synchron, Nitro Synchron and Gaia Knight. As you can see, we actually have a negate and a beater on our board this time around, so I hope that we will be able to at least do something to our opponents. Currently, our opponents' decks are clearly very casual, but as our deck gets stronger, our opponents will also change and get more difficult. But trying to play against actual meta decks at this stage would be pointless, so we are playing in the scrub leagues. With our deck profile and strategy out of the way, we can get destroyed once again. Match 1, we are against Sacred Beasts. Our opponent starts setting 2 and summoning Chupacabra. We set Dupe Frog and pass. Our opponent gets out Reveal and in the process gets to Fallen Paradise. He destroys our Dupe Frog, which searches us Swap Frog and passes turn. On our turn, we special summon Swap Frog and normal summon Junk Synchron to get to Junk Speeder, with which we extend into Nitro Warrior and Junk Warrior, but we can't get rid of his Reveal, so we destroy Chupacabra and use Nitro Warrior to get to Stardust Dragon. He uses Cerulean Skyfire and fusion summons Armital, which OTK'd us. Game 2, we go first by setting Hedgehog and passing. The opponent gets to reveal once again and then uses Pot of Desires to draw 2 more cards. He destroys our Hedgehog and passes. On our turn, we summon Green Gadget to search Red Gadget and use Tuning to get Junk Synchron to our hand. On his turn, he destroys our Green Gadget and summons Hamon in main phase 2. We summon Junk Synchron and he gets a token from Reveal's effect. Using Hedgehog, we synchro summon Junk Speeder and bring out 4 tuners, then special summon Hedgehog by its own effect. That gets us to Junk Warrior and we try to attack his token, but realize that Hamon prevents us from attacking. In main phase 2 we climb to Stardust Dragon and use Pot of Avarice to draw 2 cards. We MST his trap and use Dark Hole in desperate attempt to live 1 more turn. We get lucky as he can't do anything on his turn, so he passes and we use Tuning once again to get us Nitro Synchron that we use with Goblinberg to bring out Gaia Knight, with which we attack directly. The opponent draws and still doesn't get anything, so we summon Kaiku and attack him, in the process banishing 2 of his monsters from the grave. He banishes our Gaia with Dimensional Prison and we pass. The opponent not drawing anything loses on the next turn. Game 3, we get OTK'd on his second turn, so we lose match 1. Match 2, we are against Chalmers. They begin by summoning 3 monsters to the field, including Luna, which is a big problem for our deck. We go for the T-set and pass. They summon the second Luna that gets another search and then bring out Trishula that banishes our MST and Nightmare Penguin from the hand. They then destroy our Dupe Frog and pass. We get the search for Swap Frog and special summon it. Using Tuning, we get Junk Synchron, which we normal summon to get out Junk Speeder, which brings us to Junk Warrior. We wipe the opponent's board, but they get a search for Awakening of the Possessed. We end by climbing into Nitro Warrior and Stardust Dragon. They normal summon Luna and get another Awakening of the Possessed. They bounce our Nitro Warrior and pass. We summon Goblinberg and Kaiku and attempt to attack directly, but they flip Storming Mirror Force, so we pass our turn. They summon Luna once again and destroy our Stardust Dragon. On our turn, we just set Sakuretsu and pass, so they combo on their turn and end game 1. Game 2 went even worse, as we got absolutely destroyed on their first turn, but my camera died after 1 minute, so I sadly don't have the footage. For the third match, we are playing against a Windwitch deck. The opponent starts by setting 2 cards and passing, and with this set Road Synchron and Sakuretsu armor and pass. On their turn, they start their combo and burn me for 500 damage, and then flip Ceasefire to burn me for 2000 more. After that, they bring out Winterbell and burn me again for 800 damage, and to top it off, they burn me for 1200 with Diamond Bell plus 600 with Secret Blast, which triggers Diamond Bell's second effect that destroys our Road Synchron and Sakuretsu armor. He then attacks us directly, leaving us with 100 life points. The game is basically over at this point, so we just set Unknown Synchron and pass, and on their turn they use Pot to draw 2 cards and set Secret Blast that they flip on our turn. Game 2, we make them start, and they open with Pot of Desires, then set 2 back row and pass. We set Hedgehog, Sakuretsu and MST and pass back. The opponent goes through the Wind Witch combo and clears our board while leaving us with 800 life points. On our turn, we manage to get out Junk Speeder and resolve its effect to get to Junk Warrior. We double Speeder's attack by its effect to hit over Diamond Bell and attempt to attack directly with Junk Warrior, but they drop Battle Fader that ends our battle phase. In main phase 2, we climb into Stardust Dragon and Nitro Warrior to get an additional draw off of Nitro Synchron. On their turn, the opponent summons Lava Golem to our field and passes, and that is match 3 lost to a burn deck. Match 4, we are playing against a Mystic Mine mill deck, and you can probably guess how it goes for us. They start by setting back row, and we try to get to Junk Speeder, but they flip Metaverse and get out Mystic Mine. From that point on, we try to draw an MST, but as soon as we do, they flip Dark Bribe and we lose the first game from deck out. Game 2 goes the same way, as we don't have a proper way to out Mystic Mine, so that leaves us with 4 lost matches and 1 game won against the Sacred Beasts deck. Today our last 2 matches were interesting to say the least, and even though we lost all matches, I felt a lot of improvement in our deck. What really stops us from winning games right now are boss monsters with good effect or the lack of them in our deck, so we will try to improve that in our next episode. The gadget trio clearly has to go, as well as Kaiku, as they really don't bring anything useful to our deck. Junk Converter might be the card that we eventually get, as it's a great starter and extender. The Frog Engine was pretty okay, and we might get another Swap Frog to test its full potential. If it works well enough, we could run Totally Awesome in our extra deck. In the last match it was clear just how weak our deck currently is, as we had no way to remove Mystic Mine from the field, so I'm thinking of getting a playset of Twin Twisters or Imperial Order for the side deck. We have to keep in mind that we only have 60 sleeves, so we will eventually need to buy another pack if we want to run a full extra and side deck. Deck box would be great too, as it's simpler to carry around instead of the big tin. To conclude, I think we are going in the right direction, but it will probably take at least another 2 or 3 episodes to see some good results. Or I might get surprised and go on a win streak the next episode. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, as it feels great to see people enjoying my content. See you next time.